On this week's edition of Today's Health, we hear her story and a warning for others. Reporter Randy Gyllenhaal tells us more.
Yeah, I'm just so glad everybody took care of us as well as they did.
Mary Clancy finally feels the weight of the world off her back.
You can't imagine in your wildest dreams something that huge.
The 71-year-old and her son do the morning routine, checking the scale.
Eddie, do me a favor, hold my hand here, okay?
For the past 15 years, Mary was slowly gaining weight.
The doctor said just watch what you eat.
She figured it was just old age, genetics, maybe a bad diet.
Becoming a short, round, fat little old lady.
But by last year, she was 350 pounds.
It got harder and harder to walk. When I laid on my back, whatever was in there pressed against my lungs. And that's when they took me to the hospital. Here we go.
She went to Lehigh Valley Cedar Crest, where doctors found a 140-pound ovarian mass equal to 17 gallons of water.
So this is predominantly liquid. 95% of it's liquid.
Surgeon Richard Boulay had the tricky assignment of removing that tumor.
And it's slippery and nasty, and if you pop one of these things, it will have cancer cells inside it.
2 of us can go in there, maybe 3.
Mary will still be monitored for cancer, but now she can walk around and warns that whatever was growing inside of her could happen to anybody gaining an unusual amount of weight.
But it was a happy little cyst. It just kept growing and didn't cause any pain, and it just made itself comfortable in there. It probably would have killed me eventually. I'm so glad that I got to the hospital in time.
The giant mass that was growing inside Mary more than doubled her body weight, topping out at 365 pounds. In other health news this morning, too much screen time could increase the risk of diabetes in children. British researchers gathered data from more than 4,000 9 and 10-year-olds, kids who spent 3 or more hours a day in front of a TV, computer, or game console were more likely to have abnormal glucose and insulin levels than those who logged less than 1 hour of daily screen time. They also had higher levels of total body fat, which is another risk factor for diabetes. A new study suggests antibiotics are not an effective treatment for eczema in children. Researchers found oral and topical antibiotics were no more effective than a placebo in resolving mild forms of the skin condition. Experts say doctors should stick to proven treatments like steroid creams to treat childhood eczema and avoid using antibiotics. Being a parent may test your patience, but it could also help you live longer. A new Swedish study, over 1 million men and women, found the risks of early death were lower among those who had at least 1 child, regardless of the gender. In fact, by the age of 60, the difference in life expectancy may be as much as 2 years. Researchers suggest people with no children may have less support as they age. That's it for this week's edition of Today's Health, and still to come on KPVI News Today, we take a look at your KPVI News Today headlines.